What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View and another Saturday, and we're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo again. I believe, I was just thinking this is why I was like just a minute, I was about a minute late, is because I was thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure a week ago I was sat here in this chair around about this time, maybe a little bit later on in the evening, talking about Cristiano Ronaldo wanting to leave Manchester United. 7 days later, it's Groundhog Day. Call me Bill Murray. To be fair, compliment Bill Murray, one of the best comedic actors ever. SNL, Groundhog Day, the list can go on and on of the great stuff. He's Caddyshack. Yeah. But we're here again 7 days later talking about Cristiano Ronaldo wanting to leave Manchester United. And folks, it's serious. It feels very, very serious because we'll talk about the details surrounding it. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. But real serious Tier 1 sources are now all saying that Cristiano Ronaldo has informed Manchester United he would like to leave the club this summer if, and the emphasis on the if, a suitable offer comes in for what is maybe one of the greatest, if not the greatest player of all time. I can get your comments up on the screen as always, so be sure to let me know what you're thinking and how you're feeling about this. Steffi Jenks, big up the mod, saying KG knew it. I've got a lot of KG comments in the last few minutes or so. Keegan says KG wasn't lying. David Lee saying KG knew it was in the stars at Tesco. Look, I will say this when it comes to KG, as I mentioned, spaghetti analysis, throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. I responded to his tweet because he did call Flex and myself out. I responded to his tweet with there is evidence where he has been wrong in the past. But look, that doesn't discredit him from being right. A couple of super chats off the back before we get into all of this Ronaldo stuff. One from Steven saying, Chelsea are monitoring the De Jong situation. Yeah, we spoke about that before, didn't we, when it comes to the Frenkie De Jong situation. I'm not too nervous about that. I think that given the amount of time all parties, not just Manchester United, but also Barcelona, have put into getting this deal done, I'd be shocked if that one doesn't happen next week, to be honest with you, Stephen. But Chelsea are probably monitoring just in case it falls apart, because deals can, certainly. Mahat says, bro, it's about to be a long season with a massive change in how we play. If Ronaldo wants to leave now, no problem. Extra cash for us. See you later, G. Wow. Mahat's, not feeling sympathetic whatsoever. So let's get into this. Let's get into all of this. So the initial reports came from Duncan Castles from the Times. Now, granted, some people will say, well, Duncan Castles, he's, people call him, what was it, Mourinho puppet, but he does have quite close ties to George Mendes, which is why it leads into this Cristiano Ronaldo situation quite a lot. So he was first to break the story. It was his story as an exclusive. So I do want to talk about him. Then I want to talk about David Ornstein, who's also reported it. That's why it's really significant. It's because also David Ornstein has said the same thing as Duncan Castles. So he said, Cristiano Ronaldo has asked to be allowed to leave Manchester United should the club receive a satisfactory offer in the transfer window. Now, Ronaldo is driven by a desire to play in the Champions League for the remainder of his career. But there are also other reasons involved as to why Cristiano Ronaldo wants to leave the club reportedly this summer. Ronaldo believes he has, quote, 3 or 4 years left at the highest level and would like to spend them at a club where he is capable of adding to his team and individual achievements. Essentially saying, I'm at Manchester United for a year, possibly an extra one, and I ain't going to achieve anything, certainly as a collective or as an individual, and because of that, I want to leave. But there are other reasons as well. According to close friends, Ronaldo's affection and respect for Manchester United's support remains as strong as ever. It's not an issue of Manchester United or the fans. In addition to pursuing a transfer on sporting grounds, there are personal reasons for leaving after a difficult time for his family. So it's not just the individual in Ronaldo. It's not just based on wanting to achieve stuff, which he knows he's not going to do at Manchester United. It's also based on some family issues as well, where his family might be having a difficult time in Manchester as well. When it comes to people that could be interested in CR7, Bayern Munich are understood to have placed a hold on their interest in Ronaldo until Robert Lewandowski's sale to Barcelona, it would appear, has been agreed. But also a return to Serie A is under consideration as an option from Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, the reaction to that, the reaction to all of that on social media was met with a lot of skepticism, frankly, with a lot of people saying, well, Duncan Castles, The Times, Paper Talk, we spoke about this previously, when it's Cristiano Ronaldo, it's easy, right? It's easy to put his name in the headline. It's easy to put Ronaldo here, Manchester United, boom, clicks, papers, things of that nature. And that's fair. That is fair. And people can say a lot about Duncan Castles. He's been wrong in the past, or he's been wrong on certain things. Granted, he does have quite close ties to George Mendes, which of course is the agent of Cristiano Ronaldo, so it does feel like there is something there. And as I spoke about this time last week, with all of the noise that is surrounding Cristiano Ronaldo, there is certainly fire to all of this smoke. Now, at the time, I said this last week, we don't know if this is just a spark, we don't know if this is a raging inferno, we don't know if it's a bonfire, we don't know if it's somewhere in between, we don't know, but there certainly is a lot of smoke going on when it comes to Cristiano Ronaldo and his Manchester United future. But it really picked up when you get someone like David Ornstein, and as we always say here, David Ornstein does not miss. His track record does speak for itself. While you might have people like Duncan Castles where you say, I'm not too sure about that one, David Ornstein does not miss. And he is saying the exact same thing as Duncan Castles as well. So this is what David Ornstein tweeted. He's written an article for The Athletic. It says the following. Cristiano Ronaldo has told Manchester United he wants to leave this summer, as Duncan Castle reported. The 37-year-old is said to love the club but wants to play in the Champions League and fight for top honours in the final stage of his career, and that doesn't feel likely at Manchester United. Napoli are among suitors for CR7. So Ornstein is completely backing up what Duncan Castles has said. He is completely backing up that original report that says Cristiano Ronaldo, he wants out. It's also now being reported by Sky Sports. Lyle Thomas from Sky Sports is saying that Cristiano Ronaldo has concerns over Manchester United's lack of signings, which we knew anyway, and the perceived inability to compete for major trophies. As I mentioned also as well, Napoli are reportedly strong suitors for him. Imran with a super chat says Ronaldo is the icing on the cake. We need to bake the cake first. Let him go. You know what's interesting? I would actually like to know what are your opinions? What are your thoughts on Cristiano Ronaldo? Are you concerned when you hear these kind of reports, or are you open for him to be leaving? What are you thinking? Because initially, my reaction was almost. Again, I didn't really, honestly, initially I didn't believe it. Initially, I didn't believe it to be completely accurate. I think, like many people, I saw that initial reaction from Duncan Castles from the Times, and I said, I'm not sure if I'm truly buying into that. But once you do have other people coming out, as I said last week, there feels like there is something to this. There really does. And ultimately, I'm not really sure I can blame him that much. I would say to him, you must have known this for months. You can't have just woken up today, or certainly these reports have been coming up for the last maybe couple of weeks, 10 days or so. But certainly he can't have come to the conclusion in the last 10 days or so that Manchester United aren't going to win anything this season, or Manchester United aren't going to be competing. We're nowhere near. We could have told you that in January, let alone 10 days ago. So why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long for him to reach this point? It's no shock as well. Cristiano Ronaldo decided his future at Juventus in like August last season. He'd done pre-season. I think he was on the bench for the opening game of the season. So the idea that we're already a month in to the transfer window and Ronaldo's just said, I've had enough, that's not totally surprising. But I would say, how have you reached this conclusion now? Surely you were aware of that. Surely you would have been aware of that this circumstance that United are completely in the mud. Surely you would be. Now, it must be stressed that also it's being reported that Manchester United have declined to comment on this. Obviously, all of the journalists are reaching out to Manchester United as we speak right now, and basically United are remaining mum on the situation, as it were. But honestly, at this point, do I expect him to leave? I don't. I don't think I do. Granted, the situation with Ronaldo is different. Ronaldo will do what Cristiano Ronaldo wants to do. We've seen that. If Cristiano Ronaldo ultimately says, I'm off, he can probably force that move through. But Manchester United don't want us out. It's also, again, been reported by the likes of Ornstein, by the likes of Duncan Castles, by the likes of many people that whilst that might be what Ronaldo wants this summer, United are saying no. And he does have time in his contract. Can you imagine getting into a situation with Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the greatest player ever, being not wanting to be at the club, a club like Manchester United, and it getting messy. For lack of I don't need him to meet the pun, but it getting messy in terms of him forcing his way out. I don't think he would force his way out the club. I don't. I can't see him doing that. I think he has too much respect for the club. But it certainly feels now this has gone past that mindset of, he's just trying to put pressure on the club to do something in the transfer market. I'd subscribed to that theory last week. I'd said that maybe this is a situation whereby he's just trying to speed things up when it comes to signings. This feels about more than just transfer signings. He might be frustrated, and that might have been the final nail on the coffin, as it were. But there are also other issues involved here. There is also that we're not in the Champions League. That's a massive problem. There is also that we're not competing for any trophies. Yes, the signing things are part of that. But on the flip side, you would say, and I know people like Napoli are potential suitors, and Bayern Munich, I could see the Bayern Munich one with the Lewandowski leaving. Of course, we know that Mane's just signed there. I could see that, replace one superstar with another, different country for Ronaldo to conquer. He is going to be competing at Bayern Munich. He's going to win the league, face it, at Bayern Munich. He would go. The reason why the Bayern Munich one is so perfect for him is because he will go to Bayern Munich. They're the best team in the Bundesliga, and he will win the league. He will win trophies. He will be the centerpiece of that team. He will achieve stuff. It's what he's looking for. Ultimately, it's what he's looking for. It's another country to conquer. He wants to prove he's unlike Messi to an extent where he's happy to go to these other countries and conquer them. That move does make sense, but Bayern Munich are pulling away from it at this point. And irrespective of his age, whilst the transfer fee might not be particularly high for Cristiano Ronaldo, it would still be somewhat extensive. The wages are still astronomical, including his base salary, add-ons, bonuses, etc., appearance fees, goal fees. Cristiano Ronaldo's total salary package comes to like nearly £1 million a week. Bayern Munich are not going to be paying that. They're just not. But it depends on how desperate Cristiano Ronaldo is truly to leave, I guess. Now, when it comes to a Manchester United point of view, if Cristiano Ronaldo does leave this summer, we are screwed, because who's playing up front? We have one striker, one number 9, that is Cristiano Ronaldo. If it's not Cristiano, if Cristiano Ronaldo goes, who have we got? And it's not really a striker's market. That's why when we missed out for Darwin Núñez, we basically United came to the conclusion of, well, there's no one really else out there. If there's no one else out there, we're not going to go for someone else. We've moved our attention to Anthony, or the profile of attacker we were looking for had shifted. Instead of it being a number 9, a traditional number 9, it had pivoted to it'll be maybe an attacking player that can play across the front, like an Anthony, or previously we were looking for Nkunku. It was that kind of thing. If we lose Cristiano Ronaldo in this transfer window, who have we got? What, we're happy to go a season with Marcus Rashford as our number 9? Or Anthony Martial? No thanks. no thanks. So it's kind of a two-pronged approach. United, and it's being reported that this Ronaldo situation could be getting sorted over the weekend or so, or a decision could be made. I don't think United are going to budge, but United are going to have a look as if to say, well, we've got to come up with some kind of option. Either we chat with Cristiano Ronaldo and say, you're not leaving, what does it take to cheer you up? Or we need to start looking at alternatives quick. Because again, Ronaldo can force through this move. He absolutely can. Ash with the super chat. Appreciate the contribution. Ash says, who's scoring your goals next season? LOL. Wow. Exactly. People can say what they want about Cristiano Ronaldo. People can say about, he's washed, he's old, and he is old. But he was still, 3rd top goal scorer in the Premier League last season? He was still carrying us through games. People can say, but United had to shift the way they played to accommodate Cristiano Ronaldo. They can say this, they can say that. There were games, objectively, particularly in the Champions League, but also towards the end of the season, when we were still dreaming of possibly making the top 4, Ronaldo was dragging us through games. He beat Spurs at Old Trafford by himself. He scored a hat-trick. He scored hat-tricks in back-to-back home games. It was ridiculous what he was doing towards the end of last season. So I'm not having that he can't compete. I'm not subscribing to the people that are saying, well, he can go because he's not that good. Come on. He's Cristiano Ronaldo at the end of the day. Of course he's good. But, to give KG credit, I suppose. I know you always have to give KG credit when he gets things right, or when it appears like he's getting things right. And Ronaldo hasn't gone yet, it must be said, KG. But a lot of people were saying the same thing as KG of once it became official, we were not getting Champions League football and we were going to be in the Europa League. A lot of people said he will not put up with that. He is not going to put up with it. He wasn't going to put up with us finishing 6th anyway. I don't think he was particularly happy with that. He wasn't going to put up with us not qualifying for the Champions League. He wasn't going to put up with us not competing for any trophy whatsoever. And it would appear that he's not putting up with the lack of spending so far, which again, we are going to sign Malacia. His medical is going to be taking place over the weekend, or Monday. So he's going to be announced next week. Frankie de Jong is most likely going to be announced next week. But that isn't enough for Ronaldo. He's not seeing enough, or he's not being reassured enough that in the final few years of his career, he's going to be competing for trophies. Man United is clearly a long-term project at this point. We're entering another rebuild, and who knows how long this rebuild is going to take. Cristiano Ronaldo has 3 or 4 years max left, and he realizes that I want to achieve things. And unfortunately, whilst it hurts as a Man United fan to say this, unfortunately, if you want to achieve things in the short term, that's not a Manchester United. I would question whether that's at Napoli. I know Napoli for a period of time last season were absolutely competing in Serie A. I know they were chasing the pack when it came to that title, and the title race was relatively close there. But ultimately, it came down to between Inter Milan and AC Milan. That's why I say the Bayern Munich one does make a lot of sense from my perspective because he'll go there and he'll win the league. Especially a Borussia Dortmund that's been weakened significantly. Their main competitors is Dortmund, possibly Leipzig as well. Of course, Leipzig won a trophy last season, but you would say that Dortmund are their main competitors, and they've just lost Erling Haaland, one of the best strikers in the world at the moment. So if Ronaldo goes to Bayern, he wins the league, he gets individual accolades, he scores lots of goals, and people can say about Ronaldo being great and Cristiano Ronaldo doing great things, and who knows what they'll do in Europe. They've got Nagelsmann as the manager, young manager, progressive manager. Who's to say what they could do? It's a safe bet. It's a safe option. Certainly a safer option than Manchester United right now, but United's stance is still the same. We don't want to sell. We don't want to see you go. But as we've seen before, it doesn't really matter what we want, or the club rather wants. It matters what Cristiano Ronaldo wants as well. Now, a couple of interesting things here. I want to just keep checking social media because, as I mentioned, this is a developing story, and it is something that continues to break, and more reports come out. And as with anything, when the case with Cristiano Ronaldo and Manchester United, once one person reports something, people start to jump on it. So Simon Stone from the BBC is also reporting the same thing now, that Cristiano Ronaldo wants to leave Manchester United this summer. He still respects the club and the fans, but in the last years of his career, he wants to compete for biggest prizes, which of course isn't at Manchester United. Again, my response to that would be, you've come to that conclusion now. And I know people will question, well, why did you come to Manchester United in the first place? I think it's important to keep things in context. I think it's important to remember where we were when he came in last year. Whilst now we are a million miles off competing for anything, let alone league titles, when we came in last summer, it was after a season where we finished second, granted, miles off being top, but we'd finished second. We signed Sancho, we signed Varane, and Ronaldo was deemed as, that little bit of gold dust we can just put on, and maybe we can compete for a title, maybe we can compete for a trophy. And of course, it did not work out. That is an understatement to say it did not work out. It collapsed catastrophically. And he's not dumb. He's not silly. I've said this before as well. I would think that Ronaldo probably realised all was not right at Manchester United within days of arriving. He got there, had a look at the swimming pool, and went, is this the same swimming pool that I was in 2008, 2009? And they went, yeah. He went, you shitting me? It's the same thing. Oh my God, what? What? And a lot of the things hadn't changed, and the club had obviously not just stagnated, completely declined massively. And I guess at times maybe Ronaldo felt too good for Manchester United, or he was too big, not too big, but maybe certainly too good in certainly the group of players he was playing in as well. This is not the Manchester United that he knew. This is not the Manchester United that he remembers. This is not Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United. This is something completely different that he's walking into. This is the modern day Manchester United, and the modern day Manchester United doesn't tend to compete. We want it to, and hopefully it will again in the future, but not right now. And Cristiano Ronaldo is just not. That's not gonna happen. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat asking if Ronaldo will leave this summer. So will Cristiano Ronaldo leave Manchester United? It'd be good if I could spell Manchester United this summer. Polls in the chat. I want to get your comments up on the screen as well. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. We've got over 1,200 people watching, nearly 1,300 people watching, which isn't bad for a Saturday evening breaking news stream. So be sure to smash a like on the like button. I think we've only got, like 100 and something likes? Well, nearly 200. I mean, I don't even know where Mr. Phelan is at the moment. Maybe Mr. Phelan's on the phone to Cristiano himself. Come on. We saw that a couple of times in the season, actually, to be fair, didn't we? Old Mike with his arm around Cristiano, trying to encourage him. So be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You can also join the United View Members Club by clicking the link in the video description or clicking the join button. As we spoke about this morning, we are discussing what next week's exclusive members video will be. This past week, of course, it was Star Wars Guess Who. Next week, I had an idea for one, but to be fair, I think we've decided that it's actually going to be not a members video because it's going to be so fun. So that's going to be great. And of course, tomorrow, I've just clocked that tomorrow it's going to be the full view. Full view with this Ronaldo news. That's going to get pretty feisty. That's going to get pretty intense, isn't it? Let's look at what the poll's saying immediately. So just after a minute, we've got nearly 250 votes saying that 78% of you saying that Cristiano Ronaldo will leave Manchester United this summer. Only 23% are saying no. Wow. That is pretty intense. And I would assume to have this conversation with you guys, because this is the great thing when it's just one person talking to you, I would assume then the rationale behind that as to why you think Ronaldo is going to leave this summer is that basically United, it doesn't matter really what United want. Man United can say to Cristiano Ronaldo, we don't want you to leave. Man United can say to Cristiano Ronaldo, we have no intention of selling you. It doesn't matter. But ultimately, Cristiano Ronaldo rejoined Manchester United because he decided he was going to leave Juventus. Now, in fairness, again, to look at things in context, when Ronaldo decided he was going to leave Juventus, Juventus didn't stand in his way. And it would appear that Manchester United, if Ronaldo is going to try and force this move through, are going to at least try and win him over or try and convince him to stay. But look, this is what KG was saying before when he had his opinion and viewpoint on the matter. KG said, can you imagine Cristiano Ronaldo playing Europa League? Can you imagine Cristiano Ronaldo lining up in that group of players and having the Can you imagine that? It feels wrong. It feels dirty. It feels just like, ugh. It just makes you feel uncomfortable. And I'm sure Ronaldo does. And do you know what? Not that it really matters, but I would think that Ronaldo would feel it's almost embarrassing for him. You know what I mean? Him lining up there, one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player of all time. And that song, because he'd be ridiculed, really. And to be honest, if you're Ronaldo, who gives a shit? Like, get over yourself a little bit. If you're worried about that. But he'll be thinking that I'm so much better than this. And he is. He is so much better. Cristiano Ronaldo, at any point in his career, is so much better than the Europa League, clearly. But he'll be thinking about that as well. And you can't question, too. I'm just thinking about this now, about him saying, I want to win the Champions League. I still want to compete in the Champions League. I guarantee, because it does, I guarantee Cristiano Ronaldo watched Real Madrid beat Liverpool in the Champions League final in Paris. When was it, last month or the month before? Whenever it was. Feels like a lifetime ago. Who cares? But when Cristiano Ronaldo watched Real Madrid beat Liverpool in the Champions League final, and a lot of his former teammates were there, whether it was Modric, whether it was Benzema, even Gareth Bale, who didn't even come on, but he got a medal, I guarantee Cristiano Ronaldo was watching that going, that should be me. That should be me. And why isn't that me? Why? Yeah, I wanted to leave Real Madrid and I decided to go to Juventus because I wanted to go to a club that hadn't won the Champions League in such... I don't know if they've ever won the Champions League. I don't think they have they? But I wanted to be that person that really got Juventus over the line and got that Champions League trophy and all that kind of stuff. But I guarantee it eats him alive that he had to see that. It must. It absolutely must. Seeing people that he played with, people like Karim Benzema, who he's very close to, and he rates a lot. But seeing him win another Champions League and people talking about, they won, or like 5 Champions Leagues. I know Ronaldo has as well because he won one with Manchester United. But it must just kill him inside. That should be me. And when he's seeing people like Modric, who's at a similar age to him, being like, they're still doing it. They're still winning the Champions League. And where am I? I'm here at Man United. 6th. Scraping into the Europa League, not by any great play by ourselves, but because West Ham lost on the last day of the season. That's why we got into the Europa League. Meanwhile, people that I'm very close to, even people like Marcelo who didn't play, they're lifting. He's lifting the Champions League, and he's like, it should be me. And ultimately, as David Bradley says here, nobody is bigger than the club. And I would say, actually, whilst I wouldn't necessarily blame him for wanting to leave, because he is better than this, and because he should be doing more than this at this stage in his career, because he still does have something to give. He absolutely still has something to give. I don't want to be in the position at this stage in the Manchester United rebuild where, I mean, we've said it about players that were underperforming, and I think it should be the same with the players that were performing. If you don't want to be here, if you don't want to be at Manchester United, if you don't want to be part of this project, because this isn't a short-term project, if you don't want to be part of it, then by all means go. And if anything, out of respect to Cristiano Ronaldo, you would maybe hope that the club would offer him that courtesy. Do you want to be here? No, I don't want to be here. I want to go. Okay, well, we're not going to give you away for free. But if an offer comes in, that's a good offer that we're happy with, we'll let you go. We respect you enough for who you are, for what you've done for this club, for the relationship you had with the fans. We respect you enough that we would let that happen. We would facilitate that. Allow us to try and get a replacement. We don't want you to leave us in the lurch, but we won't stand in your way. And I think United might be in a situation now where they're going to try to convince a player, but I would suspect maybe his mind is already made up. And it might have been made up, or even if it has been made up in the last week or so, you know what Ronaldo's like. When he's made his mind up, I mean, I dare anyone to hang around his locker at Carrington when he shows up on Monday. Can you imagine? Welcome back, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's going, where's my locker? There it is. Why are you unpacking it? Why are you packing things up? I'm off. What? I'm going. See you later. I'm gone. And that could happen. That really could happen. And it would be a shame. I think Eric Ten Hag, and this has nothing to do with Eric Ten Hag, it must be said as well. I think that Ronaldo's main issues are with the underperformance of the club. His main issues are with, obviously, the transfers and all that kind of stuff, and some family parts of that as well, and wanting to be in the Champions League. I don't think he has any issue with Eric Ten Hag. You know, the reports have come out that Ronaldo doesn't have any issue with Eric Ten Hag. And Eric Ten Hag doesn't have any issue with Ronaldo, it must be said as well. I know previously there were people saying he's not going to fit, or Eric Ten Hag's not going to want him in his system, Eric Ten Hag's not going to want him in his side, all that kind of stuff. No, Eric Ten Hag has gone on the record multiple times. His exit interview with Ajax, he said, I can't wait to work with him. What a player. He was asked in his first press conference as Manchester United manager, what do you expect from Cristiano Ronaldo? Goals. He did not say, I expect him to leave. Something a little bit different. Difficult thing to... Well, he didn't say goals for what club, in fairness. But can you imagine? I expect goals for Cristiano Ronaldo for Napoli. Oh, that would have been the biggest bombshell ever. But no, he expects him to stay and he wants to work with him. And look, Ronaldo hasn't actually reported back to training yet, it must be said as well. So Ronaldo, I guess, could come back to training on Monday. He's due back on Monday. Whether or not he comes back on Monday now is an interesting point too. But he's due back on Monday. He's due to fly out with the squad at the end of the week for the tour. Maybe his mind will change after conversations in person with Eric Ten Hag. Maybe things will change after a few training sessions. I doubt it. As I mentioned, you get the impression once Cristiano Ronaldo's mind is made up, it's done. But one would hope that, again, if he wants to go, then I would say let him go. Honestly, I don't want him to go, and I wouldn't want to see Cristiano Ronaldo leave because we've got no one to replace him. I don't want to be like Pep here and crying, we cannot replace him. But at the moment, we actually can't because we don't have a striker. We do not have a number 9. Who is going to play up front? There are people that will in Rashford and Martial, but for a whole season, trying to, not win stuff, just try and push for a top 4 spot, you kidding me? That would be massively worrying. We would be forced to go and find a striker, and who do we get? I know previously people are like, Well, go get Neymar. Well, yeah, because that's like for like at this point, isn't it? I don't want Neymar at Manchester United. And maybe I'm going to get clipped here at the end of the window. We've got Neymar. But we need a striker. We need to sign a striker. So, as Tabislav says, is KG scouting for strikers? Get him on. KG. And by the way, KG the comedian and KG the scout are two different people, it must be said. I think there's a bit of a misconception that they are the same person. No. They are two different people. But yeah, KG's got to get his binoculars out, and we've got to find another striker because our current number 9 might be going. Kevin's saying Belotti. I did see that earlier on. Belotti's, of course, a free agent after his contract expired with Torino. But, I mean, look, anyone coming in to replace Cristiano Ronaldo is going to, just the comparison's just never going to work. But you would argue that that would be desperation in terms of, we've let Ronaldo go, Belotti's a free agent, we've got to get him because it's the easiest one, the quickest one to do because we were not prepared for this. I would hope that maybe there are some targets that United pushed off to next season. Or maybe there might be some targets that United thought, well, we'll look at them next season. But if Ronaldo's going, maybe targets have to be pushed up. And as we get longer in the transfer window and as we panic more, and clubs will know that we're panicking as well when it comes to Ronaldo because it's very, very clear we did not plan to have Cristiano Ronaldo leave this summer. If Ronaldo does leave and we're suddenly in the market for a position that we weren't really in the market for, clubs will know we're panicking. That's how you make rash deals. That's how you pay a premium. That's how you overpay for players and you overpay wages because clubs know you're desperate. Make no mistake, if Cristiano Ronaldo leaves this summer, which was not planned, we will be desperate at that point. And clubs will know that. Whether that is going after, I know people are saying Tammy Abraham at Roma, I would have doubts about him, to be honest. I know he did well at Roma last season, but I would still have doubts. I know people are saying Icardi, or people are saying, what about Lewandowski? Well, Lewandowski's going to I think Lewandowski has got his mind set on going to Barcelona. And look, I guess if you're in the stage of swapping one sort of legendary striker for another, Lewandowski's not bad, and he's a little bit younger. I wouldn't mind that, but I think it's unrealistic. Kevin Bridge says, I'm telling you now, be Danny Ings. Yeah, it is concerning. And look, as I mentioned before, there does feel like certainly there is fire to all this smoke, doesn't there? We've still got over 1,000 people watching, by the way. How many likes are we on? Otherwise, we might have to say, like you said, Beetlejuice 3 times. You have to say Phelan 3 times. 325. Can we get to 400? Can we? Did I ever say about my coach I used to have that just spoke in rhetorical questions? It was madness. I had a coach when I was playing as a kid. I was playing for County at the time, but he was also a coach for one of the local teams. And his coaching method was just to purely ask rhetorical questions. And that might sound ridiculous on the face of it. Try living it. It was mental. So what he would say was, if you're in the game, he would go, there's a couple of passes, he'd go, can we do another one? And sometimes he wouldn't even go that far. He would just go, can we? One more? What? Or we'd score a goal, and he'd go, do we want to score another one? How? Do we feel like we want to score another one? Can we? You gotta speak normal sentences, man. Why are you talking in rhetorical questions? Bizarre. Rhetorical questions are not there to be answered. Therefore, there was no answer. There was just silence all the time. I was sitting there going, "Oh, this guy's insane. Like, this is some kind of issue." I was like, "Have you ever sought help for this? Unbelievable. Can we? One more? How bad? What? What?" I'm like, I was going crazy. And the problem is now, it was just like sometimes when I'm in real life, I'll be like, can we? And it gives me a shudder. Unbelievable. Nevertheless, David Lee says Marcel for striker. Owen, phone him up. Wow, look, Marcel's constantly in training. I'm sure Marcel, I sound like Ricky there. Marcel's been doing shuttle runs in preparation of this news. We'll ask him tomorrow. I don't think the footage from Toca Social did myself justice. I feel I was ganged up on. There was illegal tactics involved. Marcel won, but the point system for that talk. I'm well off topic, but who cares? I'm live by myself. That the points where those points worked in Talk Social was weird as well. It was disgrace. It was absolute disgrace. Fat Thor says the shuttle run is shuttling. Exactly, yeah. Anyway, guys, look, once we have more information about Cristiano Ronaldo, we'll talk about it, of course, here on the channel. Let me know in the comments, though. I mean, if Cristiano... First of all, do you think Cristiano Ronaldo is going to leave this summer? 2, if he does, who are we replacing him with? Because this could be a real conversation point in the next couple of days, or maybe in the next week or so. Marlon Clark said, did it do Cam justice? It did, yeah. it did, yeah. So, yeah. Look. You know, he wants to talk about De Gea's distribution. So, who am I to judge? Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great Saturday evening. And, of course, we have any developments, we'll be back talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. And, of course, full view settings tomorrow. So be sure to tune in at 7 p.m. I'm out of here. Peace.